Hello and welcome to the show, #TRoDWaSS, the podcast. This is the audiobook for The Realizations of Depression Warrior and Suicide Survivor by Denmark R. Aranas. Today's episode is about my realization inside my mind about self-image, 9th chapter, valuing and maintaining self-respect. The most important factor that would ensure a good and healthy relationship is having mutual respect at the center of it. I realized that the most important relationship that I should be focusing on in this life is my relationship with myself. If I do not have a good and healthy relationship with myself, how can I really pursue and build a lasting relationship with others? I realized that the value of self-respect must be nurtured in me first. I realized the importance of valuing and maintaining self-respect in fostering a positive self-image of one's own self. In a good and healthy relationship, the mutual respect is valued by the couple. The greatest expression of valuing mutual respect is by protecting the faithfulness to each other. I realized that I could also apply that principle in valuing my self-respect. I will do my best in protecting it and give myself the trust to remain faithful to my commitment in helping myself be better. I realized that there are two aspects of self-respect that I must protect: the moral and physical. Physical self-respect is vital for the recovery of people living with mental illness. If an individual is physically weak, how can the mind be enabled to fight back when the body itself has no strength? I realized that I took for granted my physical self-respect ever since I had depression. I disregarded my health intentionally because of my own self-punishment every time I feel inadequate. Also, I had this wrong mindset that if I treat myself badly, God would be kind enough not to burden me even more. I was trying to sacrifice myself just so I can threaten God to stop sending misfortunes in my life. I know people around me would find out if I was struggling with my depression if they find any form of self-harm on me. And so, I restored skipping meals to starve myself. I totally lost my physical self-respect because of my self-hate. I became skinny in just a span of month. I became vulnerable to respiratory infections. In addition, I had episodes of terrible acne breakouts because of my lack of self-care. I came to the point where I totally don't care anymore about how I look. I was fine neglecting myself because I believe that I deserve such damaging treatment from myself. Another violation of physical self-respect that I realized people living with mental illness resort to is engaging with vices. Smoke, alcohol, and drug addiction entraps people in an entranced state where they enjoy the chance of escaping reality even in a trivial span of time. The harmful effects are disregarded because of the numbing effects of these vices that offers people forget about the pain in their lives. When a person is drained physically, the individual also suffers mentally. Both would consequently deteriorate altogether. I realized that the first step in the path towards recovery and healing of people living with mental illness is the affirmation of a better self through strengthening the body. I realized that I should also prioritize my physical well-being before I truly recover mentally. And so, I also focused on my body to get better alongside my mental health. The greatest manifestation of self-respect is having a healthy body and mind. As for the moral aspect of self-respect, there are a lot of external factors that devalue my own self-worth. Instances of rejection in my life led me to the point of belittlement as to who I am and what I can do. I remember the feeling I had when I was repeatedly turned down when I was applying for scholarship programs. I felt inadequate and believed that I really do not measure up to be deserving of such blessing. The frustration that I felt was so terrible that I questioned my capabilities and even my own worth as an individual. I was so depressed by my failed attempts to help my family financially. I considered myself as a burden to my family for pursuing my own grand dream that led to a lot of financial restraints. I pitied my father for sacrificing so much to be able to send me to medical school. He He wore himself out as a waiter on a cruise ship abroad and did a lot of trivial gimmicks just so he could earn a little extra tip. I was so filled with guilt for making my parents sacrifice a lot and for being the reason why they are apart from each other for the longest.